Hey, welcome back. I thought I might do a live stream just because I don't feel like editing these videos. I'm sitting in the dark in my office. Um, all I have on are some LEDs and the light from the computer screen. But I need to catch up on some of Becky's videos, and I have other videos that I'm trying to edit right now, so I just don't feel like putting in the editing on these at the moment. So, but I need to catch up because there is some drama in the Amberverse apparently between Becky and Amberlynn's girlfriend. So I thought I might watch these and give my thoughts while I'm watching them. And if anybody pops in, great. If not, that's of course fine as well. I don't expect anybody to. I'm just being lazy. So I'm going to go ahead and share this. And so this one is the second one in her relationship videos. This one is titled Craziest Thing to Happen to Me in a Relationship. I have her at 1.5 speed.
Hey everybody, I am just sitting outside because it's a really nice day, and I figured I would.
I'm also not sure how the audio is going to be. I'm using the microphone array on my computer instead of the microphone that I purchased or the ones in my headset. So we'll see how the audio is. I'm in shadow, of course, which, it's fine.
Continue the relationships saga. Okay, after Sean passed away, me and the first girlfriend got back together.
Oh.
And we kind of did this whole...
I don't think I knew that with her last time she told that story.
On and off thing for some months.
Maybe I did know that and I just forgot.
We broke up. We were actually together that entire summer, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Becky's letting her hair grow out. I'm due for a haircut. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I have to go to Memphis on Sunday.
Sorry if my hair looks weird. It's up in a bun because it's at a really awkward length right now, so I'll just keep putting it up. Also, happy Pride. We were on and off again throughout the rest of that year.
I missed that. I was looking at my phone.
Keep putting it up. Also, happy Pride.
Oh, happy Pride.
We were on and off
yes,
again
happy Pride, Becky.
The rest of that year. That fall was the first time that I did anything with a girl. And I was staying with my sister and ex-brother-in-law at the time, and he was a jerk. He was an absolute jerk. Like, me and him fought all the time over my oldest nephew because he wanted to act like he had joint custody with his ex-wife, and they had 4 kids together, and he only got them like every other weekend or something like that, and he wasn't going to be able to have them on Halloween. So he threw an absolute fit about it and was like, we're not going to decorate for Halloween. We're not going to get a pumpkin. And I'm like, what do you mean we're not going to get a pumpkin? We're not going to get a pumpkin for my nephew?
He does sound kind of like an asshole.
Anyway, that's an entirely different story. He did the same thing at Christmas time. He was like, if my kids aren't going to be here, then I don't want to have a Christmas tree. But me and my sister went ahead and put it up.
Well, what about the kids that Becky's sister had? Because didn't she have another son besides Sean? I mean, come on, dude.
Anyway, because why wouldn't we? But yeah, that was an entirely different story. But I was living with them because no, that happened after I got kicked out. All right. So it was about Valentine's Day and Valentine's Day 2009, and my mom. I'd spent the weekend at my sister's house, and then whenever I got home that Sunday, they were like, okay, we're all gonna go to church, and my mom was like, no, we're just gonna stay behind. I feel like I've talked about this before. But
possibly.
Yeah, mom confronted me about the letters and, said a whole bunch of hurtful stuff, and then made me choose, to never see my girlfriend again, and be straight. So, howdy.
Yeah, that sucks, and I feel bad for Becky with that. It's sad whenever parents can't accept that their child is gay or bi or whatever the case may be. Um, Maybe someday I'll tell you guys my experience with that whole uh, that whole situation. But um, yeah, I feel bad for Becky about that. You know, with her mom being like, "Hey, you have to choose one or the other." I mean, and unfortunately, it's not something that you can choose.
So, I ended up having to leave because I chose to not hide myself anymore, no matter what situation that was going to put me in. Because at the time, I had no idea where I was going to go. Um, I was packing what all I could.
Mm.
And then whenever my sister and ex-brother-in-law got home, back to my mom and dad's house after church, they took me in, and that's where I stayed. For
Okay, so she got kicked out of her mom's house or chose to leave that or be kicked out, I guess, and moved in with her sister and ex brother in law. Okay.
the duration of my senior year, and my girlfriend ended up breaking up with me after that. Not immediately after that, but close. And then I ended up dating this other girl toward the end of my senior year, and then she informed me like a week before school let out that she was going to be moving to Ohio, and she said she would probably be back in the fall time, but
Well, that sucks. By the way, I'm moving or I'm going to Ohio.
yeah, no. She even was like trying to get me to come with her, and I was just like, I can't. So she went up there, and
Why
then she
not?
started telling
Go
me,
with
that
her.
she had, she was talking to this guy, and I was just like, okay, well then I guess that means we're not together anymore. I never really talked to her after that. So whenever she moved back, she assumed we were still together, and I was like, no, no, we're not. You had a boyfriend when you were in Ohio. No, we're not together. So
Oh, to be young and like, oh, well, I wasn't there, so I was just seeing this guy while I was in Ohio, and I'm going to come back and we're still going to be together. Yeah, it sounds like Becky hasn't had the best luck with relationships. Man, I feel you, girl. Me too.
yeah, I talked to a few people online after that, and then I want to say about the end of September. Um, this girl I had only known because she was really popular and she was on the basketball team, and she got into a really bad car accident,
Mm.
and she didn't finish out senior year. The car accident actually almost killed her. It made her lose parts of her memory. It disfigured her a little bit, but she contacted me on MySpace.
That sucks. I know. That was always kind of one of the worries in high school. When I was in high school, it seemed like my freshman, sophomore, and junior year, I think a senior student died every single one of those years. And so whenever we became seniors, it was like, oh man, I really hope I really hope we all make it. um, there were a couple of accidents. There was a student that was in a really bad accident, but he was able to walk across the stage and get his diploma. He was in a wheelchair for a bit. He was hurt so bad, I believe. But yeah, it was, man, it sucks because it's like, you know, you think you're young, you're invincible, and I mean, it's not the case. I hate seeing news stories come across my little phone ticker about like local kids and car accidents or something. It sucks.
And we started hanging out, and she had a boyfriend, but he was okay with her having a girlfriend until he wasn't, because
Well, a lot of guys in that situation would become, I guess, insecure, like, oh, my girlfriend left me for another girl. Although some guys, I guess, would think that's better that they leave them for a girl instead of another guy. Maybe.
this girl, I I don't know. I think I was just in a really, really dark place at that point in time. I ended up getting kicked out of my sister's house because of an argument we had. I stayed at the girlfriend's house who had the boyfriend, and they slept in their room, and I slept on the couch in the living room. And she had twin babies, and they were not the boyfriends. And
Oh man, this just keeps getting better and better. So this girl had twin babies from a different dude that she was seeing right now, but she was also seeing Becky, and she was living with her boyfriend, and Becky was staying on the. Oh man.
they were just a few months old, and so I kind of did get a little used in the situation.
Sounds like it, girl.
Like in the morning times, her mom was an RN, so she'd go to work. Her stepdad would be there. He would have one twin, and I would have the other twin, and the baby would sleep on the couch with me. And then if it needed to be, changed his diaper or fed or whatever, I'd get up and do it. And you know, the stepdad would take care of the other one. And I also was trying to work at the time at Walmart, and I had a car. They did not have a car, so we were also having to take him back and forth to work, which was a very, very far drive. I want to say over an hour from like Macquarie County all the way to almost Clinton County. And it was just, she talked me into sleeping with him one time for her because I don't know why, but she wanted me to, and I did it, and it was not fun, and it was very boring, and it was very short. And once this dude realized that I wasn't going to be with him too, I guess, that's whenever he started being like very cold toward me and very jealous with her over me. And I remember one night, this wasn't over me, but they got in a fight in the parking lot of this club we were at. Those clubs wasn't even my scene, but that's where she wanted to go. So me and him and her would go, and they got into an argument. And instead of me getting in my car and driving away, I think one of them had the keys at the time, and I was just over it. So I just took off walking. And they found me a few hours later, a couple miles down the road, trying to walk back to their house, which was a very, very far walk. I was just mad. I was just really, really mad, and I didn't care where I was going or anything. So, yeah. I started noticing her pulling away a lot, and it was my 19th birthday. I had been woken up that morning, as usual, to hold one of the babies, and I was half asleep. And over the news, I heard that one of my friends.
So what did the mom do with the kids? Anything at all? Did she just pawn them off on you and her boyfriend?
Had been killed in a car accident.
Oh man.
And she had been very intoxicated. It was just a really sad, I was very upset. And that was also the day she decided that she wanted to break up. And I got in an argument with her and went outside. And once again, didn't think about taking my car. I just took off walking. I didn't know where I was going.
Girl, well, I mean, maybe you shouldn't have been driving if you were that upset, but...
But she came after me and then stopped the car in the middle of the road, and she got out, and she was like trying to pull me back in the car and screaming at me. And she acted like she was going to hit me. And I was just like, go ahead and do it. Just hit me then. But she didn't. And she eventually got me into the car. And then whenever we were driving, she kept on and kept on and kept on. And I was just like, please stop the car and let me out. Just please stop the car and let me out. And she wouldn't. So I flung the door open and was going to tuck and roll. And she pulled me in by the hair of my head and stopped at a gas station. And she was just like, stay in the car. I'll be right back. I got to go pack cigarettes or something. And lo and behold, here comes an ambulance, like not that long later. And she had told them that I was suicidal and I was trying to kill myself. And they took me to the hospital. And they had my parents put me on a suicide watch. They did not admit me, but my parents took me home and was making, they made sure I was okay. And then my aunt ended up taking me over there to get my stuff, and she tried to sweet talk me and stuff there, and was just like, are you sure this is how you want it to end? I was just like, oh, you're the one that tried to break up with me, but whatever. And my aunt ended up taking her into.
I mean, she's the one that ended it, right?
A room by themselves, and she told her that I'd already moved on and I'd found another girlfriend. And mind you, this was like a month or so after everything. And I didn't have a girlfriend, but I was talking to someone. But my aunt was like, she's moved on. You need to let her go. And then 2 months after that, I get a call from her boyfriend saying that one of the twins had died, and
Mm.
it was the one that I took care of all the time.
Oh my God.
So I ended up going to the funeral. It was open casket funeral. It was awful. I couldn't even walk all the way up there once I tried, and she ended up passing
Jeez.
away like 3 years after that. She got hit by a car.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So much tragedy around Becky. Oh my God. Wow.
And it killed her. But okay, let's go back to after me and her ended. I got on Plenty of Fish and matched with this girl, and
Plenty
she
of Fish is
definitely
awful.
wasn't my type because she was a little older and she just wasn't what I was looking for. But I gave her a shot anyway, and you know what they say, when you settle. And me and her both had settled. I know we had.
Oh my God. You were so young. Why would you feel like, oh, I guess I should just settle? You were like 19 or 20. 19, I think she said.
But from the get go, I told her about everything with Sean, and it was still very very fresh at that time. So she proceeds to tell me about her little boy who passed away in a car accident,
Oh my
and she
God.
had him because she was essayed uh,
Mm.
and got pregnant from it. And she had this album full of pictures of her son, and you know
Why
on the
was
back
that
of
in,
them, all of
did she
the
do
names were
air quotes?
whited out, all the writing. So I got curious and I scratched it off. And it was saying an entirely different name than what she said her son's name was. And whenever I confronted her about it, she said that it was her ex-husband who thought it was the neighbor kid and wrote on the back of it. And I knew, I was just like, okay. But I just, let it go. And then,
Okay.
oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. There were several occasions where I tried to break up with her, and it just didn't happen. There was one time she actually did block me from going back into, our house unless I got back with her. She's like, you're not going to go back inside unless you agree to stay in a relationship with me. And I agreed. And that was just a really, really rough time. My nephew was born, and
What, I'm, oh my goodness. I don't even know.
I had to go spend time with my sister and my family, And she told me she was going to go hang out with a guy and a girl. It was a couple, and they were her friends that she met online. And she said, "Yeah, we're just going to go hang out in the Walmart parking lot. We're going to drive around, because there wasn't really much to do in our town." And so I was just like, "Yeah, okay,
Well, that's what you do in small towns when there's nothing to do. You just drive around or cruise.
cool, whatever." And I got this really, really weird feeling at one point of the night, and I decided to call her. And she was just like, "No, yeah, we're just sitting here hanging out, blah 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 blah." Well, I can't tell you how long later it was, but Ricky came to me, and actually Eric and Ricky both came to me and was like, your girlfriend thinks that she's pregnant because she cheated on you. And
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I did some investigating, and I finally got the truth out of her. And whenever I had called, they had just got done having sex. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. They just finished up cheating on me. And then I called, like literally right after. Um, so I called him up, freaked him out, and was like, yeah, you got her pregnant, so you're going to have to be the one to take care of the baby and her now because she can't stay here anymore. I had this dude shaking in his boots. He was freaking out. He's like, I'm not ready to be a dad. I don't want to have any commitment. I
Oh
didn't mean
my
for it to be
God.
like this. Da, 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 da. And by the way, there was never no other girlfriend. There was nobody else there but him and her. And who does that in a Walmart parking lot? That's gross. Anyway,
Well, when you live in a small town in the Midwest, I guess That's as good a place as any, but I mean, anybody could walk by and be like, hey.
Let's see. So around that time, I also decided to look more closely at the pictures of the little boy, and there's another little girl in the photo with him. And my girlfriend at the time was just like, "Oh, that's a neighbor kid. That's my best friend's kid." They were neighbors. And I scratched all of the white off of it, and I looked that girl up on.
Why would you put white out over the names of your kid if it really was her kid? That doesn't make any sense. This woman sounds like she has issues, like just making up stories.
On Facebook, and she told me that my girlfriend never had a son, and there was never no accident.
Oh my
The boy she
goodness.
was claiming was her son was her son was actually this girl's brother, and he was very much alive. And she sent recent pictures of
Oh my god. So this chick that she was dating just completely made up having a kid, and this whole tragedy that the kid died in a car crash. And then now she thinks she might be pregnant after cheating on Becky. Oh my god. That 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 woman needs help.
what it looks like. And she told me that my girlfriend and her mom used to be best friends, and they ended up stopped talking to her because she was lying and going around saying that little boy was hers. And
Yeah, Donalyn, they sure seem to.
she was never essayed, not by that guy.
Oh my god.
Or at least it resulted in a pregnancy.
Well, yeah, maybe she was assaulted, but maybe she didn't get pregnant from it.
That never happened. I don't know if she was by that guy or not, but and the messed up part about all of it is that she used this to play off losing Sean.
Well, she wanted to also just get sympathy so she could have this sob story and have people feel sorry for her also, to be like, oh yeah, you lost your nephew. Yeah, I lost my son. It's almost like a one-up kind of thing, it sounds like.
And to, I guess, use it as a tactic to try to get closer to me and my family, because she and my sister bonded over that and they cried over it. And whenever I first told my sister, I was like, I think she's lying about her kid. And my sister was like, on her side, she was like, why would she do that? She would, a mother would never do that. I don't know why
agree,
you're thinking that she's
Jonalyn.
lying. And I finally pieced it all together, got all the proof, figured it all out. At that point, me and her had been pretty much separated. She was still living at the house. She would not sleep on the couch in the living room, and she wouldn't sleep in the van. So she would sleep on the floor in our room, because I would absolutely not let her sleep on the bed with me.
What?
Because it was a whole lot more than just that one guy.
So why was she even still staying with you? Well, I don't know. I mean, if you guys had a place together and she was paying her, I don't know. Sometimes Becky jumps back and forth in her stories, and they can be a little bit hard to follow sometimes. I also have her sped up to 1.5 speed, so.
Years later, I was working at the same place that she had been working at, and this random guy came up to me and he was like, "Hey, did you used to date so and so?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I'm so sorry, I didn't know that she was with anyone.
Oh my
She
god.
would sleep with me
Oh my gosh, she was cheating on her with a coworker too. Jeez.
in order for me to, take her back and forth from work to home, and not have to give me gas money." He's like, she would give me that or cigarettes. And he was like, "I'm really sorry that happened. I didn't know she was with anyone."
Oh my god.
And this girl was something else.
At least the dude apologized, like, hey, sorry, didn't know she was seeing someone.
Something else, y'all. It even goes beyond that. I can't even think of everything.
Wow.
But yeah, she, like, we weren't together, but we weren't trying to treat her badly. So, okay, so Thanksgiving, we go over to my friend's sister's house to stay the night. And she was working, but she was like, whenever I get off work.
So it was the we, her, and the other girl. Pardon me, I need to turn off my work laptop. We'll just close that.
Or, I can come there.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I've had some
my friend was
winters.
gonna have to go get her, and it was a far drive, but he didn't care to go. He didn't care to do it. So time came, and she was just like, "I'm just gonna stay home," and we're just like, okay, that's weird. You were all about going, but anyway, we did Thanksgiving and everything, and whenever it was time to go home, we came home to trash all over the floor, alcohol spilled on the carpet, the bottle was tipped over, and some of her stuff was missing, and she literally had just up and left.
Oh my God, she just, no, I don't want to go to Thanksgiving. I'm going to just ransack your house and just take off. That's what I'm going to do instead. Oh my God. Damn, Becky.
Which
I don't have much
she
strength
owed
left.
bills, and she just pretty much split on us. And I never saw her again.
Well, that's a good thing.
She called me drunk a few times after that. Texted.
It's probably for the best that she was just out of your life. But I wonder, did they report anything stolen? And like, hey, this chick she was staying with us and she just stole a bunch of shit.
Did me. But no, yeah, I was absolutely so relieved to get out of that relationship. And
man,
I don't know why I put myself through those kind of things.
I think maybe, I don't think Becky wants to hurt people. So she would want to maybe try to help this person and stay in the relationship. I don't know. She said this person was a little bit older than her. I don't know how much older, but man.
You just get with the wrong people sometimes. You just get with the wrong people. And
you've done that many times, it seems. But I think we saw her stay with Amber Lynn kind of probably far past the expiration date on that relationship. And, well, I think that maybe she did love Amber in some way, that maybe she didn't want to break up with her sooner because, burpees, was, I mean, like we learned in 2019 that Becky had to do a lot of stuff for Amber Lynn. So maybe she didn't want to leave Amber Lynn to her own devices. Maybe.
She was definitely one of the wrong ones. So
you have a lot of wrong ones.
Yeah, I do.
That was either Hannah or Ray if you had a lot of wrong ones.
But yeah, that's basically the end of the second part before I decide to go any further. But this was absolutely probably one of the worst situations I've been in.
Wow.
One of the craziest situations I've ever been in when it comes to a partner.
Sounds pretty crazy.
But yeah.
I wonder how long that relationship lasted. She didn't tell us.
Hopefully you will want to come back for a part 3 to hear about my further endeavors. Bye.
Oh goodness. Well, yes, we are going to go on to part 3. But before that, wow. Yeah, that's a little crazy. That chick sounded a little crazy. But yes, before we move on to the next video, I am doing a live stream to look at some of Becky's videos because I'm feeling lazy on the editing aspect, and I don't feel like putting the effort and energy into editing a video for this because I have other videos that I'm working on. So just do a live stream and watch them and catch up a bit because there is some drama going on apparently between Becky and Amber Lynn's girlfriend and possibly Amber Lynn. There were apparently some questions that came up. I think I heard it was Instagram, but I follow Amber Lynn on Instagram and I didn't see them. So I'm wondering if it was Snapchat. I have seen some screen captures that I'm going to try to get a hold of and do a video on it. But yeah, a little crazy. But we do have a relationships part 3. And I think it's part 4. that discusses Amber Lynn. And then we have a video where she watched Karina Kaboom's video. So I'm not sure how much I will get to tonight because it is almost 10:30. Oh, you guys probably couldn't hear that sound. It is just about 10:30 in my neck of the woods, and I am still pretty much awake. But yeah, we'll see how long I stay awake. So this is her relationships part 3 video, and gonna check the speed on that. We're gonna put her at 1.5 because she talks slowly, and hop on in here. How you enjoying your camping there, Jonathan?
So yeah, I got my hair up. It's probably a little weird, but I will.
Turn her up a little bit.
I figured that I would come back and talk about.
I'm not sure how my audio is. I'm using the microphones on the laptop, so if I sound loud, I apologize. If I'm quiet, I apologize. I know I can get a little loud because I can't really hear myself with my headphones on, so sometimes I talk a little louder than I think I do.
Relationships part 3, and let's see, I left off. She left, and then I stayed single for a few months, and then
you and me both. I think I'm okay with being single. You know, it would be nice to have a partner, but I don't know if I have the time for anybody else in my life at the moment. There's a couple of people that want to hang out, and I'm like, I have shit to do. I am such a bad friend. Like, I want people to hang out and do things with, but yet I'm just so busy doing stuff. But I'm glad the camping is awesome. I am not a camping person. I like to have toilets nearby that I can use that have toilet paper and not, leaves. But let's see what Becky's.
I met someone else. And
okay, so she said she was single for a few months. I'm assuming this is after the crazy person she just told us about that lied about having a child die in an accident and then stole stuff from them.
You know, me and her were together for a while. I moved down to Tennessee for her.
One of your favorite well, it can't be my channel because I am not a very good channel, so it must be somebody else's that you're listening to.
I kind of always had this feeling that I cared about her more than she actually cared about me. You know, she was the one that was less affectionate, and you know, I was the one who would draw her pictures, write her letters.
Well, I wouldn't say if somebody's less affectionate that they don't care about you. Some people, I guess we call that love languages these days. Maybe affection and physical touch and whatnot wasn't this person's love language.
You know, something like that. But you know, I never really actually got those things in return, and I'd caught her in a lie a few times. I think she was in the shower, and her phone went off, and I looked at it.
Thank you.
It was some other girl saying, you know, I miss you, baby. When are you gonna come back home and visit me? And I was just like, who's this? And
oh my,
my girlfriend at the time told me that it was a colleague of hers. They were talking to the girl because the colleague had a boyfriend, but didn't want him to know she was talking to this other girl. So she was using my girlfriend's phone. But there was all of these conversations. Like, I'm just saying, when did she have time to talk to her?
What? That doesn't make any sense. So Becky's girlfriend got a text saying, "Hey baby, I miss you. When are you coming back?" And her girlfriend said that it was a coworker of hers using her phone to message a girl because she had a boyfriend and she didn't want her boyfriend to know she was. So I just noticed there's a country crock container behind Becky. But so apparently this message that Becky saw was supposed to be meant for her girlfriend's co-worker instead. Am I understanding that right?
Her that much, you know. So, like an idiot, I was just like, okay.
Hey, I've believed some stupid lies too, so I feel you, Becky.
And then she got to where, she didn't really want to be very intimate or anything like that. And I was just like, okay, I get it. Libido drops, it happens. And
Sure.
she ended up getting a new phone. And she told me she could never remember the password to her phones because they changed so often. And
why do they change so often?
I had a really crappy phone. She said that she had to update her Apple password, her password on her phone, like once a month or something, because it was required.
No, it's not. I don't think. I mean, I don't have an iPhone, but I have an Apple account because I have a iPad Mini, and I used to have I still have an iPod, but
I didn't know anything about iPhones. I didn't have one. I had a little cheap Samsung phone, but she got
cheap Samsung phone. Girl, I used to work for Samsung when I was living in South Korea.
a new phone, and then I was looking at her old phone because I was thinking about taking it over, and I found gay porn on.
Oh man, Becky, you can find some winners.
Phone. Two dudes. I also found solo dudes solo, and I'm just like, why do I keep moving my chair? I'm sorry.
Well, hey, I just started moving my chair as well. I dated a girl briefly, very very briefly, that enjoyed watching gay male porn, but she was a lesbian. So I mean, I guess I I don't know. I can't explain it, but yeah, I don't know how it can get well. I don't know how it can get worse. Maybe this one cheats on her as well. But I think we're starting to see now why Becky was so afraid of Amber Lynn or somebody cheating on her with a guy or leaving her for a guy, because she's had multiple women in her life do this. Now, I don't know this one has really or bad, not.
Because I have insecurities with men anyway, because I've always got the short end of the stick whenever it came to them. Like, my first girlfriend wanted to be with a man.
Me too, Becky. Anytime, well, in my younger days, back in my early 20s, if there was a bi girl, or I guess pan these days would be the term, that I was interested in, they would always pick the dude that was interested in them over me. I feel you, Becky.
So we broke up, and then the next girlfriend cheated on me in the Walmart parking lot. No, the next girlfriend had the boyfriend, ended up choosing him in the end, and
Wait, what was that?
No, broke up. And then the next girlfriend cheated on me in the Walmart parking lot. No, the next girlfriend had the boyfriend, ended up choosing him in the end, and I'm gone. And then
wait, so is that the one that she had just told us about in the last video?
The third one cheated on me in the parking lot with a dude. And then this next one stopped being intimate with me. Turns out she was watching dude porn. And I asked her, I was just like, are you bisexual? Do you think you're straight now? Like, and she broke down and crying. I don't know why. I don't know why I want to watch it. No, I don't want to be with a man. And
curiosity? I don't know.
It just felt really crappy. It made me feel like I wasn't enough. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't what she was wanting. So,
poor Becky.
We tried to get past that, but I had a really, really, really hard time letting it go. But I didn't hold it over her head or anything. But I think it did attribute to the further decline I had into depression. and I
Mm.
wasn't taking any medicine. I wasn't seeing a doctor or anything. I was too busy working constantly. Because whenever you're working a full time job, you don't have time to go see a therapist or.
It is hard to make time to make appointments to do those things, and especially if you don't have a job that doesn't if you have a job that doesn't have insurance, it makes it a lot more difficult as well.
Do regular doctor checkups and stuff like that. You just don't have time. You don't have time to really take care of yourself whenever you're working a full job,
I haven't made doctor's appointments this year, and I really need to.
a full time job. Um, so
Hmm.
I don't know. She was just always very kind of secretive, and I don't know. But I put a lot of my faith and trust and love into that. And then one evening, we decided to get Taco Bell.
Think what would think what would trigger depression. Um, Feeling like you're never enough. Um, I could I could definitely see with this pattern that we've seen with some of Becky's relationships that if you're being constantly like broken up with or cheated on, I could definitely see someone thinking, well, there must be something wrong with me. There must be a reason why they're seeking something outside of me. There must be something wrong with me. And I could definitely see that triggering some depression. If you already have the chemical imbalance to cause depression, I could definitely see something like that making it worse. Worse, yeah, yeah. Maybe bringing it more that the porn chick triggered her depression. Maybe I don't know if trigger would be the right word, but maybe make her kind of sink into it with more negative thoughts about herself as far as like I said, like not feeling like she's ever enough for somebody. That can really get you down, and then if she starts spiraling more on those negative thoughts, then possibly.
And we're like, okay, let's eat it in the bed and we'll watch a movie or something because we just wanted to relax. Sorry, I keep doing this. Sorry, I don't know why it's habit.
Let's
I guess
wiggle.
nervousness. I don't know. But that night we ate dinner in the bed, and I was playing with my straw for my drink, and I like wrapped it up into this funny shape, and then I like put it on my lips, and I was like, give me a kiss, and I leaned in, gave her a little peck, and then literally like 3 minutes, maybe not even that long after, she was like, I don't want to be with you anymore.
Aww.
And I was so in shock. I was just like, okay, okay. And then whenever it finally hit me, I was just like, I don't understand this come out of nowhere. She was just like, I think you would be happier back at with your family, and I don't feel that way for you anymore. And so I was so distraught
Mm.
that she ended up leaving and going to her mom's right after that. I stress cleaned, I guess you could say. I cleaned the entire pantry.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where this girlfriend falls in her timeline of girlfriends, but she couldn't have been older than 2021, maybe. Becky, that is.
Scrubbed it down. Then I scrubbed all of the cabinets in the kitchen, swept, mop, dusted, just anything to keep me going and where I didn't have to sit
Just
down and think
something
about
to
it long
keep
enough.
your mind off things.
And my friend that I worked with ended up coming and getting me, and I stayed the night at her house and did not sleep at all. She slept next to me. I stayed sitting up in the bed, staring off into oblivion until the next morning,
Hmm.
and I wasn't eating. So my ex made me come home, and she made me eat McDonald's. And then she was like, "Okay, well, you need to start packing up your stuff." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "I'm gonna have my mom take you back in like a day or two. So I had literally like a day.
So she ends up living with these girlfriends really quick, it seems. So part of what I'm not understanding here is, did she move in with them and then wasn't paying rent? Because if she was paying rent, then technically, legally, they need to give her like a 30-day notice. But yeah, she seems to live with these girlfriends like really quick. But I guess, I mean, I don't know what her financial situation was as far as being able to get her own place. Um, but yeah, just being like, hey, taking you back to your parents' place.
To pack up my life of 3.5 years. And
oh, she was with this girl 3.5 years. She didn't tell us that, I don't think, did she? Wow.
I had to leave things there too. So
damn.
Her mom and her brought me home. Actually, I'm skipping a whole bunch of stuff. The night before
yeah
we left to take me home, I was sitting in the chair in the living room crying, and she was sitting on the couch scrolling on her phone. She looked up at me, she laughed, and then she went back to her phone. And
oh, what a bitch.
Later that night, it was like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, her mom got off work or something, and she come over, and they both took me all the way back home, which was like a 3.5 hour drive. I cried the whole way.
Mm.
When I got to my dad's, well, it was my dad's house at the time. Whenever I got there, it was my childhood home too. When I got there, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, jeez.
No, I think it was like more like 4:30, 4 something. I don't know, like 4:40. Mm. The goodbye was hard because I kind of knew, I was like, I'm never going to see these people again. And I miss her mom. I miss her mom a lot, and her stepdad, because they were amazing people. Very loving, very accepting, very inclusive, family oriented. You know, they were just awesome people. And I still kept in touch with them for a while after. Mm. But, you know, things just fall away and people get busy and they have their own lives. And it's like, I totally understand that. So, yeah. I didn't sleep for like 3 days straight. I didn't sleep. At night I stayed with my friend. No, I didn't sleep the night before. I didn't sleep the night I stayed with my friend. I didn't sleep the night after that. The only time the moment I finally got to sleep was whenever I got to my dad's house and he was going to work, and he could just see how exhausted and tired I was. And he was just like, why don't you go crawl in my bed? So I did. And his bed was so comfortable that I was just like, ow. And that was the end of that one.
Jeez.
I talked to this one girl the date we were.
So if this was like 3.5 year long relationship, then she would have been maybe like 23, 24. So we're getting close to when she should be meeting Miss Amber Lynn.
On was very awkward because every time I tried to ask her a question, or anybody tried to ask her a question, because we went on a double date, she was just kind of like, I don't know. Like, so, what do you think about this? I don't know. Do you like this? I don't know. She was just very much like that, very short answered. It was awkward. So later that night, you know, she come back to the house and we decided to make it, trying to make it a little unawkward. And we played this game called King's Cup, and it's also called Ring of Fire, but we got smashed off of that, like absolutely smashed.
Oh, must be a drinking game.
And I don't really remember a whole lot about sleeping with her, but I remember that we did. And
oh my god,
she woke up the next morning and then she was kind of acting weird then too. And it was like the only time she wasn't acting weird is whenever she was drunk. So she made this excuse, you know,
maybe she's just an awkward person.
You know, my dad needs me, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if it was an excuse or what, but it felt like an excuse, you know. And she left, and I never saw her again. We talked every now and then, but, you know, she did let me know. She's like, you know, I just didn't feel anything with you. And I'm just like, of course you didn't. Like, no one does. So.
Oh. That just makes me sad. And what a weird place to end it on there. Oh my goodness. Of course you didn't. Nobody does. Oh, Becky. I feel so bad for Becky. Wow. Man, yeah, she's had a rough go of it with relationships. I don't know. I mean, sure, we've all had bad relationships, but she's definitely had more than her share fair, it sounds like. And it seems like none of them have ended very well. But wow, wow. I feel so bad for Becky. I hope she realizes that she deserves to find somebody that loves her for her and, to treat her well. And I hope that she can find that once she's kind of worked on herself a little bit here to kind of get back to herself after the relationship with Amberlynn. The meanness towards herself. Um, you know, I understand it. It's you know, you can only take so much rejection, I think is what it is. That you start to think that you aren't worthy of a relationship, that you aren't worthy of having somebody that loves you and wants to be with you towards her. I think some people just attract users, if that's a way to put it. I've attracted a lot of users in my time. Um, People just want somebody that they can get something from. And once they're done getting that from you, they don't want to be with you anymore. It seems like a lot of these people that Becky's dated, and I think I can see why she doesn't want to date someone that's bisexual or pansexual. It's because anytime she has been with somebody in a relationship that is uh, uh, bisexual or pansexual, they end up leaving her for a guy. So I totally understand her apprehension when it comes to that. And I mean, some people are just shitty people, unfortunately. And I think they saw Becky as somebody that I got the hiccups. Somebody that maybe they thought was desperate for a relationship, or somebody they thought they could take advantage of, perhaps. So they did. So then she ended up getting broken up with. But I think Becky dodged many bullets in those early relationships. And I think the next video, Relationships Part 4, which I'm not going to watch tonight because it's getting late. And we're at almost an hour. Um, I think the next one, Relationships 4, is where she talks about Amberlynn. And maybe I will watch that one tomorrow night. I do need to do a lot of stuff tomorrow because I'm going to Memphis on Sunday for work. But yeah, man, Becky's had some bad relationships. I feel bad for her. I really do. Yeah. And then, I mean, she was with Amberlynn for what, 4 years, almost 5 years? And that one, Becky ended that one. So at least with Amberlynn, at least Becky ended it on her terms. So that's a positive, I guess. But I think we're going to get to the relationship with Amberlynn in the next one. And I think that's what caused a lot of this drama that's currently swirling around. But I think that is all I'm going to do tonight. I'm getting a little sleepy. I think I'm going to have to still take some Z-Quil or some nighttime sleep aid to get to sleep because I don't sleep well. But yeah, we will finish catching up with Becky tomorrow night, possibly. So if you're available tomorrow night, I might be back here in my dark office like a creepy person. Yeah, it should definitely be interesting. I agree. And you enjoy your evening camping, and hopefully the wildlife will leave you alone and you can enjoy enjoy the fresh air and the stars. So, but I think that's all we're going to have for tonight. So until next time, be safe and take care.